Hi, my name is Del Warren. I'm Vice President of Kegel Training Center, and I'm here today with Kelly Kulick and Liz Johnson. I'm talking a little bit about the Kegel Navigation Series patterns. Specifically, today we're going to talk about Route 66, which is in our Challenge Series pattern category, and it happens to be our longest pattern, 45 feet in the pattern library. And so we've chosen this because for a lot of amateurs, the longer patterns tend to be a little bit more of a challenge. First, I want to say in the Challenge Series, the code for this pattern is 43-45, which means that this pattern is 4.3 to 1 ratio, which is certainly a little bit less challenging than a sport pattern, but certainly not nearly as easy as a house shot. So this falls right into that category, which is used quite a bit at Kegel. People enjoy it because sometimes going from a house shot to sport is just a little too much, especially if you're not used to seeing sport all the time. So this is a very nice transition. But specifically for amateurs, long tends to be a little bit more of a challenge. One, I think they have the wrong picture in their mind on how to attack this pattern, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I know that just through our experience of coaching people, that once they get in the right part of the lane and they change their look a little bit, I know they fare a lot better. So first of all, again, as we've said many times, we use a formula based on math and science, pattern length minus 31, to determine where we want the ball at the end of the pattern. And this is really crucial on a longer pattern because we really want the pattern 45 minus 31 is 14. We don't want the ball really any further right than either 13 or 14 at 45 feet. And the reason being is because the pattern is so long, you literally only have 15 foot of dry boards to allow that ball to respond to the pocket. So generally speaking, the longer the oil, the more you want that ball closer to the head pin as it comes out of the pattern. And that doesn't mean that you're going to lay the ball down on 14. That means that you're probably going to lay the ball down more on 18, 19, 20, 21, and you're going to be around the third arrow or even left of the third arrow because it's 14 board or 13 board, or even if you have a drier ball track, you're certainly not going to be any further right than 12 at 45 feet. So let's make sure that everybody's in the right part of the lane, and that means you're really going to be sliding around 25, 26, 27 to start. Kelly, how do you normally go about attacking a 45-foot pattern? What kind of balls do you normally start with, and what part of the lane do you start bowling on?
Well, first and foremost, I look to my bag first. I tend to use stronger bowling balls with weaker layouts, usually around a 5-inch pin, something very, very tall. Because the pattern is so long, I want something that's going to read the transition, like you said, later on down the lane. So that's why I tend to use the taller pins. For me, the go-to ball would be the Mission 2.0. Again, it's got a little pearl eyes in it, so it'll give me a little bit more of a motion in the back portion of the lane. And again, like you said, Del, I'm going to start somewhere around board 18, 19 for me because of my rev rate in my hand. The typical surface I'll use in the ball is somewhere around 2,000, maybe 1,000, just so it starts to pick up in the mid lane and give me some type of motion or movement down the lane. And really the big focus for me is the focal point of the pocket, the 1-3. I do not want to give that up on long patterns, typically because they start out playing a little bit tougher until they open up a little bit more. So it's almost as if I'm bowling in a tunnel, and I really make the 1-3 my focal point, kind of like a fallback shot. Don't give it up until I kick out the 10 and the lanes open up. I can move in a little bit more and give the pocket away a little bit more. But starting out of the gate, again, taller pins, mass bias is close to the thumb, 1,000 or 2,000 surface on the box, and really somewhere around 18 at the arrows, again, not getting it past that 12, 13, 14 indicator back there.
Is throwing it, I know that you've told me that it's very easy for you to actually reduce your ball speed. Is it, do you actually see that sometimes you actually slow your speed down just a little bit?
I do. One of the physical characteristics I'll change is just kind of lowering my push away a little bit. It allows my swing to be a little bit softer, as well as my hand to be a little bit softer up the back of it. I really want the ball rolling more end over end than I do sideways. The less tilt, the cleaner and smoother and easy and predictable it's going to be. So it's really a good gauge of how you want to see your ball going down the lane.
So it's really not about how much you're going to hook it on this, it's really about getting the ball into a roll.
Exactly, getting the ball into a roll, tighter angles, and not giving away that pocket.
Very good. Liz, your style is certainly a lot more direct, a little more traditional than Kelly's. Where do you normally start on a pattern this long?
Usually I'll probably start right around the third arrow, between like 13 and 15, with stronger balls. Layouts are probably fairly strong, probably like 1,000 airborne I would use on the ball, and just some drilling's probably a little stable, stuff that gives me an early but continuous arcing motion, and just try to keep my angles will probably be as straight, not give up the pocket very much.
So what bowling ball, for example, in the Ebonite arsenal would you try?
Probably the Mission with the pin. It's about 4.5 inch pin with a big weight hole, just to get the ball in an early motion, and also just trying to cut back my ball speed, because definitely my ball speed can get me in a bad
Bad situation?
a very bad situation. So that's always my concern, my ball speed, along with my foot speed on the lane too. So.
Okay, and would you tend to use a pin up or a pin down?
With probably the Mission, probably a little bit higher pin, and with a weight hole.
Okay. It's interesting because that's when we were talking about medium patterns earlier. That was kind of the ball you would also use as well. So not only does it, what does that tell me is that if you're a little bit straighter player, your moves are not going to be tend as big. You're going to tend to use kind of the same equipment, maybe just change your ball speeds and your angles a little bit. It also tells me how versatile the Mission is. I know on the Weber International Bowling Team, that ball is an incredible benchmark ball. It's the most versatile ball that we have in our line. That ball has been known to be a 1 ball for our college bowling team, or a 3 ball in our college bowling team for a number of players. So it's interesting the strategies that you both apply, but the one consistent thing that I hear is you're not really going to hook it a lot. You're going to be playing closer to the head pin, and you're really going to cut your ball speeds down, and you're going to roll the ball more. I myself like to use actually a 5-inch pin down. If I've got a little more response down the lane, I'll start with a pin up, 5-inch pin, probably again on my Mission. Or if it's a little bit flatter pattern, I'm going to tend to use a little bit pin down. I really want to try to control it. And again, as you said, Kelly, really focus on hitting the pocket. And my focal points are really going to be closer to the center of the 3-pin, which is around board 13, 14. And again, really trying to come up the back of it and try to roll the ball rather than trying to hook it. So again, those are some general consensus on and strategies on how to play a longer pattern. And I really appreciate y'all's time, and this is going to be some great tips for those of you that are thinking about bowling and more competitively using a pattern like Route 66. And I know that once you see the look and you see the right look and get some of these balls in your hand, I know that you're going to bowl a lot better.